Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to SoFlo Morning News. Today is Friday, 7/20/2020. I am your host for today, Steven Hinojosa, along with
Christopher Delgado.
Please rise for your pledges.
Now it's time for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now it's time for the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Now it's time for the OWL Pledge. I will succeed in school with wisdom and with knowledge. I'll give 100%. I will go to college. I'll do whatever it takes, just like my parents do. I'll sweat the small stuff, just like my teachers do. I'll give no excuses each and every day. I'll close the achievement gap, working hard in every way. With my team and family, I give my OWL Pledge. I will succeed in school with wisdom and knowledge. Go Owls! Hoot hoot! Now it's time for the moment of silence.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Hinojosa Report. As always, I am your anchor, Steven Hinojosa. Unfortunately, my co-anchor here was unable to make it, but today we have a mostly domestic news story and a recap to a story that we have been reporting on in the past. And if you don't know or haven't heard in the news, is the impeachment trial that was going to the Senate of President Donald Trump. And depending on your political views, this may be a good thing or a bad thing, but Trump was acquitted of all the charges against him of tampering with, you could say, a democracy, but also the voting process of the 2020 elections in ties with Ukraine.
Acquitted from the accusation of abuse of power.
Accusation
Yeah,
of abuse of power. That's it, right?
More specific.
Okay.
So Trump was acquitted of all charges of abuse of charge.
Of abuse of power. Okay.
And remember to say President Trump because he's still got.
He's still president. Yeah. Sorry.
You know,
Yeah.
the position.
True. Oh, I thought the door opened. Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Hinojosa Report. I am always your anchor, Steven Hinojosa. My co-anchor was not able to make it today, but nevertheless, we do have a good story for you and a recap to a report that we made earlier. All right. If you haven't heard in the news or haven't been paying too much attention, President Donald Trump was acquitted of his charges of abuse of power, and as it was passed the Senate, it was failed to be passed, obviously. And so this is actually a big story coming out of the Congress and the Senate, obviously, as it is. It was thought that President Trump would be impeached, and this would have played a major confliction in the 2020 election, not only the accusations that were made, but also with the voting process, because for those who may not know, the way that the United States voting process works is that you vote in your state, and that whoever wins the state election, the Senate will vote upon in the actual election or the electoral college. And so that would have played a lot of conflict in the election, as people would be not leaving their parties, but not voting for the parties that it would have been thought that they would have been voting for. That is a end to a report that we have been following, as I said. As always, Nathan and I would encourage you to keep on doing your research and go further into looking into what else to see, what else will come from here. And as always, stay informed and do your research. Signing off.
SoFlo Sports. Welcome back. I'm Atticus, and with my new co-host, temporarily,
Steven Hinojosa.
today we're just going to talk about three major things. First, All-Star reserves. Everybody who we voted will eventually go into the All-Star reserves, and let's see who made it to the All-Star reserves. Then, Super Bowl results. Sunday was an amazing Super Bowl game, and the tough two competitors of the 49ers and Chiefs, they went at it for a whole 4 quarters, and it was a tough game. And then also, finally, UFC 247 on Saturday. The main event will be Jon Jones defending his title. So first, let's start off with All-Stars. First off with All-Stars with the West. First off, we're kicking off with Russell Westbrook, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Nikolai Jokic, and Chris Paul, and my favorite, the one I voted, Brandon Ingram. First off, I'm excited for Brandon Ingram because he's been carrying the Pelicans for a long time, and now that he has Zion, those two as a duo, I feel like are going to be really great going on for the season. And then, of course, you got Jokic, you got Mitchell, who've been really good. You have Damian Lillard, he has a big chip on his shoulder, and then Russell Westbrook as well. For me, I would have had Westbrook over Harden in the All-Stars, but that's just me. And then the East.
Then in the East reserves, we have Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, Chris Middleton, Jason Tatum, Domantas Sabonis, Kyle Lowry, and Bam Adebayo. It's a pretty stacked card with Ben Simmons and Jimmy Butler alone. I'm not gonna lie.
Jason Tatum
and
well.
Kyle Lowry. You haven't really heard of Kyle Lowry too much in the news, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, him and Toronto Raptors have been sort of undermined.
Yeah.
Have been undermined through this season, even though they're the defending champs, because a lot of the other bigger
that is
teams,
true.
the bigger teams as well, with Miami, because they also have Bam and Butler. Both I would love to have here on there, but at least they got 2 out of the 3 Heat who have been dominating and who've been really good in the East.
Do you think Jimmy was snubbed for being a first?
I think, well, we gotta look at who made it. Who made it was Trae Young, who's been solid this year.
Coming off
and
a
then
good year,
also
too.
Walker this year, who's been good. So for him to be snubbed, I think the one person I believe who really was snubbed in All-Stars was Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose should have been at least reserves, but he's not. He's in the All-Skills. He's in the skills contest right now, and I'm looking forward to this game with not only with the captains and the starting team, but this reserves for both West and East is going to be a good All-Star game. Super Bowl. All right, on Sunday, or last week, we made predictions, me and Sebas. Fortunately, he's not here, but he was right. Kansas City Chiefs beat the 49ers 31-21 in a very close game. Also with Patrick Mahomes being MVP. It was far better than last year. Last year was so...
Personally, going for the Chiefs, I think the game alone was just better because the Patriots weren't in it. I'm not going to lie. No matter Patriots fan or not, you gotta admit, not seeing the Patriots in the change
is something so much new.
Yeah, it's something you don't see much, like, because of just how dominant, win or lose, the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. They are always there in the Super Bowl.
That is true.
So I think
the Chiefs dominated within it. They did the running game, which is surprising because 49ers were the odds favorite to do not only run the football from all over the field, but also the Chiefs. The Chiefs offensively, they had a slow start, but eventually that fourth quarter, the end of the third, they took over.
They were better conditioned.
You know, there were some calls that weren't played. There were some calls that were not played. That were not.
That comes with every game, though.
That's with every game, but man.
And I think the refs did a good job of just letting them play.
That's true.
So,
also with that, Patrick Mahomes was named MVP, which
rookie season, no?
No, not rookie season. Rookie season, but man, good for him winning the MVP.
He's headed in a good direction at least.
He's in a good direction for not only this, but for the next decade.
Yeah.
Because with
that's true. He did start off the decade.
Because with Tom Brady slowly, because here's the thing, he's not leaving. That Hulu commercial was something the highlight of the whole Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
For him being like, I'm not leaving, so Tom Brady's gonna be more motivated ever to not only take him down, but to take the MVP of the regular season, Lamar Jackson. And next we have UFC 247. Steven?
All right, so that's highlighted by Jon Jones and Dominic Reyes. This is going to be a really good fight because, as you know, Jon Jones, or if you don't know, Jon Jones is coming off his redemption fight from his late doping accusations and his conflicts with that. But then again, Dominic Reyes, 12-0, has moved up the UFC ranks. All right, and he is kind of in a really good position to either take the belt from Jones or just be seen as another contender that failed to My personal opinion, I'm gonna go for Jon Jones just because I know of him and I like the way his style of fighting and whatnot, but also because his like redemption story.
For me, in my opinion, I will also agree. We'll go with Jon Jones, even though I really want to be there and upset.
Yeah.
Just to kick off this year because of last event. Last event, everybody thinks a lot of people would have picked Cowboy for a result,
true.
but it turned out to be an absolute domination.
Yeah.
With this one, I
40
feel like
seconds.
40 seconds in the first round. I lost $5 right there, and then but.
But I know I am certain if Dominic Reyes wins, there's gonna be a Jon Jones too. Jon Jones Reyes too.
I think he is more motivated ever to prove that
definitely.
he is not only the best pound for pound fighter, but to also just be the one to be the box office because the Beat is fighting in May or April-ish, and that's more of the big fight that people are looking for. So Jon Jones is gonna try to prove that not only is he still the best pound for pound fighter, but he still is the box office draw that he is. And that is all for Soulful Sports. I'm Atticus.
I'm Steven Hosa.
See y'all next week.
Good morning, South Flores. I'm Christopher Delgado bringing you a live update on my Oscar predictions. So this Sunday, the Academy is hosting, I believe, the 92nd Academy Awards. So my predictions, I'm going to give you my predictions on the supporting actress, actor, lead actress, actor, best director, and best picture. So for supporting actress, it seems as if Laura Dern is going to win. All of the award shows this season have been predicting Laura Dern. However, I don't really want Laura Dern to win. I was actually really impressed with Florence Pugh's performance in Little Women. I feel that it was a breakout role for her and everything, whereas Laura Dern put on kind of a bland performance at times. As for supporting actor, I think Brad Pitt is a shoo-in to win for sure. He doesn't have much competition elsewhere, and he easily gave one of the most likable performances as Cliff Booth in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And of course, I'm always ready for one of his snarky speeches once again. For lead actress, Renee Zellweger is picking up a lot of heat for her role as Judy Garland in the film Judy. However, I don't really agree with the idea of someone who plays a biographical role winning for lead actress simply because they're not having to create really a character. The persona is already there. All they have to really do is mimic it. My personal choice is Saoirse Ronan for her role as Jo in Little Women. I thought it was really creative and it just made me fall in love with the character all around. And of course for lead actor Joaquin Phoenix, so he puts on a great performance all throughout, and the other thing is he brings a new take onto the character of the Joker. However, if the Academy were to pull a surprise on everyone, I think that they might go the route of Adam Driver, simply because there is about 4 moments within Marriage Story that simply blew me away, and then he gave a pretty steady performance all throughout. But I think Joaquin Phoenix is going to for sure get his first Oscar win this season. For Best Director and Best Picture, this one's a bit more complicated. So Best Picture, it's going to go to either Parasite or 1917. Parasite will be the first foreign film to ever win Best Picture, and it would be amazing. This one is by far the most deserving out of all the nominees. However, 1917 seems to be gaining a lot of heat ever since it was released back in December. And the fact that it has this one-shot technique and everything, it really immerses you within the film, and a lot of people are overlooking that over the story and the heart to it, whereas Parasite brought that heart, it brought that story, and it brought a message for the world and everything. So I think that Parasite should win that one. However, if Bong Joon-ho were to win for Best Director, then I don't think Parasite will get it, and instead they'll give 1917. And of course, vice versa. If Sam Mendes were to win for Director, then Parasite is going to win for Best Picture. As for the animated film, Klaus is picking up a lot of steam recently in other award shows, but I think that it's a simple 2D animation, and I think that's why everyone's falling back in love with it, because we have a whole bunch of 3D animation, so it sticks out. But I think it was too simple, and it wasn't anything compared to Toy Story 4, the message and the message found within Toy Story 4. As for original screenplay, Once Upon a Time is probably going to win, but that movie didn't really have much plot to it. I would prefer Parasite to win. And for adapted screenplay, this one could go either way. It could either go to Little Women or Jojo Rabbit. Cinematography, 1917 is probably going to take it. It has Roger Deakins as their cinematographer, and it's that one-shot technique which is remarkable and really immerses you within the film. However, I really want The Lighthouse to win simply because it did the same thing that 1917 did in immersing you within the film, but it did so without the one-shot technique. Thank you. Have a good day.
And now it is time for some announcements.
On Saturday, February 15th, our school mariachi is hosting a Valentine's dance. For more on this, here's Steven Hinojosa.
Next on the news, we have a student interview. Today with us, we have a member from the mariachis. Why don't you introduce yourself?
My name's Abigail, and I'm a vocalist and a violinist in the Mariachi Flores del Sur. And we are raising money to go to Festiva, which is a mariachi conference in the Valley. And we're going over there for 4 days to learn more. And we are hosting a dance, the Valentine's Day dance / hangout. There's going to be a movie room, a video game room, and activities on the dance floor to do if you want. We're also having a backdrop and selling concessions like sausage wraps and chamoy bears.
Awesome. And you said you're doing what again, or what are the proceeds going to?
We are going to raise money to be able to stay in the Valley for 4 days for our Festiva conference, which is the mariachi conference, so that we can get better. And also 3 of the mariachi kids, including me, have submitted a vocal submission. An audition to compete in the vocal competition.
At the festival?
At the festival.
Wow, okay. Well, you heard it here. There's going to be a Valentine's Day dance held by the mariachis, and they're trying their best to fundraise for the trip to the Valley, so come out and support as they strongly need it.
Thank you, Steven.
Rock Out with High Voltage, Thursday, March 5th from 6:30 to 8 in the SoFlo Gym. There'll be a free event. There'll be free dress from Monday from March 6th and Monday from March 16th. So, rock out.
On February 27th, Friday, February 27th from 5:30 to 7:30 at the SoFlo Gym, 21st Century is going to be hosting the annual International Food Festival. For more on this, once again, here's Steven Hinojosa.
All right, everybody, we're here with Miss Augustine. Who are you?
I am Miss Agustine. I'm the coordinator for 21st Century here at wonderful South Flores.
Do you run 21st Century for any other schools?
Nope, just this one.
Just this one? Okay. What does 21st Century have coming up?
So we have our International Food Festival that is coming up on February 27th. It actually is coupled with a showcase for 21st Century. So along with being able to try out all the foods, you'll actually get entertainment as well. And so our 21st Century scholars will be able to showcase some of the things that they've been learning either from the beginning of the year or within this semester.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that 21st Century is looking forward to, or is that it?
That's what we have coming up for right now. We will have some more showcases coming up throughout the year, and something that is coupled with 21st Century is our high voltage concert that'll also be coming up in March. And just make sure you make it. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of good food, and of course, wonderful entertainment.
Okay, well, thank you, Miss Augustine, for being here. Y'all heard it here first. Go to the International Food Festival on the February 27th and go try some interesting new foods. Back to the anchors.
Thanks, Steven.
Attention all juniors and seniors. Saturday, March 28th, save the date, will be our prom. 9th and 10th, you will be eligible to go if you are invited. More details to come through the month. And that is all for today. I'm Atticus Ramirez.
I'm Christopher Delgado.
See you on the classrooms. Hoot hoot.